Paint. The house is painted every year. The wall is being painted by the workers. The room was painted last month. The fence has been painted by my neighbor. The door was being painted when we arrived. The house had been painted before the rain started. The shutters will be painted tomorrow. The walls must be painted before the event.
Pile. The pile of papers is organized on the desk. The pile of books is being sorted by the librarian. The pile of newspapers was removed yesterday. The pile of files has been reduced significantly. The pile of clothes was being folded by the workers. The pile of documents had been sorted before the meeting. The pile of boxes will be moved to storage. The pile of rubbish must be cleared soon.
Pole. The pole is installed in the garden. The pole is being fixed by the worker. The pole was placed near the fence. The pole has been painted white. The pole was being adjusted during the setup. The pole had been secured before the windstorm. The pole will be removed next week. The pole might need to be replaced soon.
Postpone. The meeting is postponed until next week. The event is being postponed due to weather. The concert was postponed last night. The trip has been postponed for several months. The project was being postponed because of delays. The deadline had been postponed before the notice. The match will be postponed until further notice. The meeting might be postponed again.
Recent. The recent news is discussed by everyone. The recent changes are being reviewed by the team. The recent update was announced yesterday. The recent progress has been impressive. The recent events were being documented by the media. The recent achievements had been praised before the event. The recent policy changes will take effect soon. The recent data might be analyzed further.
Recommend. The book is recommended by many readers. The restaurant is being recommended by locals. The movie was recommended by a friend. The diet has been recommended by doctors. The course was being recommended by the instructor. The service had been recommended before we tried it. The product will be recommended to all customers. The method might be recommended for faster results.
Reduce. The price is reduced during the sale. The waste is being reduced by recycling efforts. The costs were reduced last quarter. The pollution has been reduced in the city. The noise was being reduced by soundproof walls. The budget had been reduced before the project started. The emissions will be reduced by new regulations. The expenses must be reduced to balance the budget.
Reflect. The mirror reflects the light from the sun. The water is being reflected by the glass surface. The image was reflected in the window. The changes have been reflected in the report. The skyline was being reflected in the lake. The truth had been reflected before the final decision. The results will be reflected in next month's data. The progress must be reflected in future plans.
Relocation. The relocation is planned for next year. The relocation is being discussed by the management. The relocation was completed last month. The relocation has been approved by the board. The relocation was being arranged by the company. The relocation had been decided before the meeting. The relocation will be finalized by the end of the year. The relocation might be postponed due to budget cuts.
Resource. The resource is managed by the government. The resource is being allocated by the team. The resources were depleted last year. The resources have been conserved for future use. The resource was being utilized by the department. The resources had been divided before the project began. The resources will be allocated to various departments. The resources might be exhausted if overused.